let's go ahead and go all the way down as like this one right here, okay?
Okay.
And then there's where you, because you want to go ahead and have a long stem, so we can go ahead and use for flower arrangements.
Okay.
Then we can figure out while we're making the arrangement how much you want to cut off, depending the size of the vase or where you want to put it.
Okay.
Okay, so let's just put them in water and go ahead and cut one. Go ahead. It doesn't matter which ones.
Okay.
We're going for it already. And not all of them are going to have a long stem.
Okay.
Okay? So then you're going to do what is called stripping the leaves.
Yes.
We have this right here so we don't make a mess.
Okay.
And I like to leave at least a few leaves on top.
Oh.
Just because it looks pretty. And then you just strip it with your finger down. And there. You can take all the leaves off if you want. And then put them in the water. You don't have to cut it all the way down. You can cut it a third if you want, because of the plant. We still want to have something so we can plant them in there. So you can go ahead and start cutting them if you want to. And we need to say hi. Hey everyone, you want to turn around and say hi to the camera?
Oh.
We didn't say hello.
Hello.
Hi, I'm out here with Amberlyn this morning, and it gets pretty sunny in this area. It's the north side of the garden, and we are trying to cut our arborescens hydrangeas. This one is invisible limetta, and we're going ahead and cutting all the flowers off because today we're finally going to start to dismantle this whole area of the garden because we are moving soon. So yeah, that's one of the biggest things that we're actually going to do right now is dismantle all this. But the first thing we needed to do was make sure early in the morning to come out here and get these hydrangeas flowers cut. It's the best time to go ahead and cut flowers if you want to go ahead and put them indoors for flower arrangements, you know, to look pretty inside your house. It's cutting them early in the morning. The sun's already out, of course, but we're still early in the mornings. We're still nice 70s right now, early in the morning. And I have my flower girl over here. She loves to bring in a lot of flowers all the time inside the house. And she's been dying to actually do this. She wanted to do an arrangement with this. And then we have back here an elderberry, black lace elderberry, which she's been wanting to make an arrangement with that. So that's another one we'll be cutting, and I'll be showing her how much to cut to bring in a bucket of water. But I was teaching her that you need to strip off the leaves from here. From you can leave a few leaves if you want to, depending on how you want it to look. But I don't really like to leave too much leaf. And then you just put them in a vase of water, and you let them dry in a very shady place inside your house. So I'm gonna go ahead and get going with her because it's just starting to get hot and I don't want the flowers to start wilting. And then we'll go ahead and get going with the rest of the bed here.
Tell me something, it might just take the pain away. See, I've been thinking a million things I want to say. Now I'm looking in your eyes, but I'm wandering to your lips. See, I'm trying to keep it cool while I'm hovering for the kiss. 'Cause I've been eating you like old-fashioned orange slice, sweet like daiquiri with strawberry.
So we are done butchering the poor hydrangeas here. How do you feel, Amberlyn?
Kind of sad that they're gone now.
So why did we do this? We need to hurry up because we need to get these going inside. But I wanted to explain to you first, why are we doing this right now? Why are we cutting the flowers all off from the invisible hydrangea, the invisible limetta hydrangea? First off, invisible limetta hydrangea comes from the original one called Annabelle, which is an arborescens hydrangea. These hydrangeas are like the easiest hydrangeas to grow. You can chop them all the way down and they just come back year after year and better and beautiful than ever. So this right here is a newer variety of arborescens from proven winners. And we actually planted them here, who was it? When we first got here, actually. We got these beauties sent to us when we first arrived here, and we decided to put all 3 right here. So why am I doing this? I'm doing this right now because we are going to take these hydrangeas to take with us to the new house. I don't want to leave the flowers on there because it's just going to go ahead and stress the plant out. All I want the plant to do right now is to focus on setting roots, and we will I'll show you all right now when we start to dig them out what we're going to put in the soil, in the potting soil, so that way it helps them too. But that's the whole reason why I'm gonna go ahead and cut all the flowers off of plants that we're taking with us, because they don't need to be focusing on putting any new flowers or anything at the moment, but just their roots. They will get stressed. We are in summer. We want to help the plants as much as we can. So after I cut the flowers off the hydrangea, we want to take them inside. We went ahead and only did like a third from the plant as we were cutting, so that way we know how much we have something to grab on when we're planting them into the pots. And we just stripped down the leaves. That's all we did. We're taking them and putting them in a cool spot because it is getting hot now. And yeah, that's it. So I guess Ambrose is going to get going and help me with this. We're also we should talk about this right here, the elderberry. So elderberry, we are going to have to right now prune it. It's not, elderberry flowers in spring. Beautiful, like kind of flat disc, kind of lace cap, I would call it, the flowers, very pretty. And if you want it to flower in spring, you don't want to be pruning it right now. But we have to. We're going to do it, so we're probably going to lose those flowers for spring. I know she's been wanting some of this to take inside to use for arranging flowers. So go ahead, Amberlyn. Go ahead and get your elderberry. I'm going to let her cut some. I'm going to show her how to cut it. We don't want the plant to be too big, so it can fit in the vehicle as we're, the truck, the moving truck. So go ahead and grab from right there. You see right here?
Where?
A good piece, go all the way down.
All the way, so like right
where there's a fork right there.
Yes.
And clip, and then show them. So that's a good piece to take indoors. You can just remove the bottom of it, strip it down. Those right there. Or cut them.
Yeah.
Those are tougher. And elderberry, actually, I'll put it in the water. Elderberry does really well, lasts a good time in water as well. We just leave it there, and it'll look really pretty with hydrangea. We can clip it as we go indoors too. All right, so we're gonna get going and cut this and take these beauties indoors.
Like a margarita with the hot spice. Love the taste of paradise. No, it's never been the right time. Like we're holding back the storyline. And I'm waiting at the end of the night, thinking of you.
All right, so we're gonna do a quick little garden break because if you've been following us for some time, you know that I love to cook, especially outdoors. And this is probably gonna be the last time we're gonna cook here at this house because I'm gonna pressure wash this grill and get it ready so they can pack it up. But I did want to show you something awesome because a company reached out to us because I love to cook, from Nakano Knives. Now this comes all the way from Japan. They went ahead and sent me this Santoku knife, and I'm gonna try it out here for the first time. I'm gonna make some jalapeno poppers. Real quick recipe to show you guys real quick how I do it. Stick them on the grill. Some appetizers before we get the ribs and the chicken done. All right, so this is my first time using this knife. So real quick and easy, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut these jalapenos in half, just like that. And I've got about 7 of them, so it's gonna make about 14 jalapeno poppers. And again, first time using this knife, it's pretty awesome. It's nice and smooth. I have a bunch of other knives I used to cook, and this one cuts through pretty good. That was a little harder because of the stem there, but overall, great knife. All right, so after I do that, the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and de-seed them and take out the insides of them. So all I'm just doing is using a spoon to carve all that out. And you're gonna wanna leave it like that. You can leave some of the seeds if you want, if you're brave enough to stand the heat. Otherwise, take them all out. All right, so the next thing I'm doing is I'm taking about 2 green onions and I'm just cutting off all the green from it. And again, this knife is working pretty awesome. Quick and easy. All right, now what I have here is some cream cheese. I'm getting these green onions and I'm tossing them in here with the cream cheese. You can use all of it, you can use half of it, you can use just a little bit of it. It's up to you. Then I'm getting some sharp or mild cheese. I meant to get sharp cheese, but I'm getting some mild cheese. I'm just tossing some of it in here. About 2 small handfuls. And then come back to my spoon and just start mixing this up really good. All right, now that that is all mixed up, I'm gonna grab my spoon. I'm just gonna start putting some of that cheese mixture in each jalapeno. In each half, just like that. You don't have to overdo it because then it'll start to melt and spill out over the top. All right, now last but certainly not least, because this is what makes the whole experience, is to take your bacon and then just wrap your jalapeno. Now you can use toothpicks for this to keep it still. I typically don't use toothpicks because I don't like them to burn. Just wrap it tight enough to make it stay just a bit, just like that. And then just continue to do that with the rest of your jalapenos. Okay, so once we're done wrapping the jalapeno poppers, all we gotta do is now put them on the grill. Now the one thing with grilling jalapeno poppers is it's bacon. Especially when you're cooking on the grill, you gotta be careful where you set it because fat can start a fire quick and you don't want these to burn. I like my bacon a little bit crispy, but a little bit soft still. I don't want it really crispy, so you just have to really keep an eye on it. There's really no time given for how long to leave them. Some people say 7 minutes aside on a high fire, but I don't like to do that. I like to roast them nice and slow. I like the jalapeno to be roasted and smoky and delicious, so I just want to keep an eye on them and let that jalapeno cook slowly and let the bacon crisp up nice and slow. But that's pretty much it, guys. Quick recipe. This knife, definitely awesome. They gave me a discount code of 20%. This is Nakano knives. I'll leave it in the description as well. The code is GardenObsessions. Awesome knife. Like I said, I only use it this first time and it cut really, really smoothly and nice. I haven't used it on any meat or anything like that, but I'll definitely let you know how that goes because I got to cut those ribs later when they're done on the grill. But let's get back to the garden.
Just in case you're wondering, it's way later in the day. Angie and Amber had all the fun of cutting back the flowers on the hydrangeas and some of the foliage we had back here.
Early morning, early super morning. The sun was already out, actually, so it was getting a little hot, and that's what we were trying to do, beat the sun.
Yes.
Because the flowers, like I explained, had to get cut before it gets hot. If you must pull out plants in summer, the reason we're doing it is because we are moving. So if for some reason you need to plant, take out your plants in the summer, it can be done. Just remember not to expect too much from the plant either.
Exactly.
That's the reason why I cut back the flowers, because I just want the plants to focus all their energy on putting the roots. Make sure you do it at the end of the day or early in the morning.
Yep.
Also great before if you're going to get some rain or after the rain, it's a wonderful time to do it too. Make sure you have some of that biotone, good biotone from Espoma. And I don't know, what else am I missing here?
I mean, that's pretty much it. Is making sure you have a good potting soil, first of all, some good containers, and the biotone to help those not go into shock once you do any kind of transplanting at all.
Yes, because they probably will go into shock because of the temperatures right now. So I see a lot of little perennials that we have in here, like hosta and ferns, that didn't really make it that well because as the hydrangea started to grow.
Yeah, so that was one of the challenges that we were just talking about, was that even though we get some sun hitting in this area, it's still not quite enough sun in this area, especially with these hydrangeas growing. We had a lot of plants that we use in other areas of the garden earlier on when we got here. Yeah. And we just transplanted in here because they're shade plants, and we knew they were still going to survive, but they still need some sun, and they didn't do as well. So that's what we're going to do.
These hydrangeas were very small at the moment.
Yeah.
So we did it, they were still getting light, but as they grew, we knew we were going to move. We knew they were, they weren't going to stay there forever. So I guess we start pulling those out, the small plants out of here. We already have the pots ready. And then we'll start digging the hydrangeas. I see an extra hydrangea at that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that soon.
Yeah.
All right, so first things first, we're gonna put some biotone in these containers. About a good scoop.
And we're going to see how many plants we can fit in one of them. I know, I'm going first for the hostas. So I'm gonna see if I can at least squeeze in there 2 hostas. I moved them not long ago from that other area.
Yeah.
So the root shouldn't be that big on those. These are wee hostas. What are you pulling out?
All right, so while Angie is doing the hostas, I think you're gonna do the Berneros as well, huh?
Yeah, I'll do all this area down here.
We have some Bernero down there. I'm gonna do some of these ferns that we have. These are the crested surf ferns that I absolutely fell in love with, but they didn't do what they were supposed to do because, you know, we have a lot of shade back here.
Took your number from a friend, but I never call. I never call. I never call. I started writing a DM, didn't sleep at all. Not awake that night. And every time I go out, I'm looking around to see you there. Where are you?
Yeah, so we thought it was going to be easy breezy. Right, sir?
I thought it was. No.
But Biotone here seems to work really good because
Yeah, some of these guys root it quite a bit. We had about 6 crested surf ferns in there. This is what one of them looks like right there. See if I can get a little bit closer. Beautiful fern. And this is the smallest one that I found in there. It was tucked in there deep inside, but like I said, they
it's
weren't
still
getting,
alive.
even though they're shade plants, they do need some sun, and these guys were not getting any sun whatsoever. So they're still good. There's plenty of life on there. You can definitely tell there's some little fronds in there. So they'll do absolutely great once we put them in a container and transplant them.
So once again, you're watching us bunch up all these plants together like the Bernera all in one. But, you know, when we arrive to the new garden, then we'll figure out where everybody goes. This is just literally for a few, not that long of time. So, yeah, I'm done with the Bernera. I think you're done with everything in there.
I'm done with all the ferns. I just got to get them in a container.
This is not all the small perennials. We still got that side of the bed, but we want to bring out the hydrangeas already and the...
This is what's going to be the toughest part because of the roots of these hydrangeas.
So now what? The hydrangeas, the invisible limetas, and the
elderberry.
Elderberry. I'm going to start giving these water. The hostas that I brought out, as soon as they get brought out and planted into the pots, you want to give them water. Amber still has the ferns that he needs to plant into the pot. And then that's it. Now we're going to go ahead and bring out the rest.
All right, so while Angie is inside helping the girls with dinner, I wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about these ferns because we recently had a question, and we get it quite often, is when's a good time to transplant ferns? And it's really the same as any other perennial. You want to do it when they're dormant. But because we are moving, we're doing it now. But to be honest with you, these ferns right here, these crested surf ferns, have actually been transplanted, I want to say 3 or 4 times now. Once when we first planted them, we moved them over here. Then the second time was when they went ahead and replaced the wooden fence and put this laminate fence. We had to move them away from the fence. And then the third time was because our beloved lady, who is a 90-pound American Bulldog, decided she was going to dig for either a frog, a squirrel, something. She loves to come out here and look for creatures running around the garden. So they've done absolutely fine. So I almost forgot. I have another fern that I have to get out over here on this side. It is a lady in red fern that I forgot I even planted here because I have another one over here that's absolutely doing beautiful. But this one here didn't do great, didn't take off. But it actually had some foliage, but there's still fronds there, so I'm gonna have to take that one out. But this guy right here, the crested surf fern, actually sends out rhizomes, and I found a bunch of these little rhizomes here. So we start off with 6, and I'm actually counting like 9 or 10 of them. So it's quite a bit of fern we're gonna have at the next garden. You can definitely split these as the rhizomes start to grow out as well in any new garden, when you're transplanting when they're dormant.
Took a little break because it's very humid, isn't it?
Yep.
But we're about to remove this site now. Decided to go ahead and let the bigger plants over there for the end. But before we start removing this, we have more of that hosta that was over there, which is called the wee hosta. Now, this one is growing really nicely here, and I wanted to go ahead and talk about it before we take them out. So this is called wee hosta. Almost everything from here is from Prairie Winners, guys. So it is from Prairie Winners. It's one of the smallest varieties of hosta that Prairie Winners has. It measures around 2 to 3 feet wide, and it doesn't get that big. It is shade to shade, but honestly, it's been taking quite a bit of sun back here. It is a northern part of our garden, but it takes all the way to maybe 1, I think. It gets sun, a good amount of sun, and it looks really pretty still. It hasn't crunched or burned for me. Of course, I keep it really well watered. The cool thing about it is I love to have foliage in the garden. I love foliage. I love flowers, but I love foliage a lot. And what I love about this one is how you can see that it's like, I don't know if you call it variegated.
Yep.
Would you call it variegated?
It's a variegation.
And it has a creamy white on the leaves. But what's so cool about it is the ruffled leaves. And one thing about hostas that have ruffled leaves is that the slugs usually leave them alone. So they won't mess with these. And I know a lot of you tell us that how in the garden, in y'all's garden, the slugs just go crazy eating up all y'all slugs. We don't have that problem here because we did have our little pond right there, which was very helpful. It invited all the frogs. So the frogs were doing away with the slugs. But yeah, in case you're wondering what's a good hosta to have around that slugs won't mess with, wee hosta's good. And also if you're looking for something in the smaller site. So I guess we're going to go ahead and start pulling these out. See if I can fit more than one. I don't think I'm going to be able to fit more than...
Probably not.
Probably just one in the container. And underneath here, we actually have a heuchera. That's one of my favorite ones, and I can't remember the name. Mahogany red, I think it's called.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I've been eating you like old-fashioned orange slice, sweet like daiquiri with strawberry crushed ice. Know you like a margarita with the hot spice. Love the taste of paradise. Yes, you do. No, it's never been the right time. Like we're holding back the story.
Wow, right? So yeah, it's pretty humid right now. So we're taking a break. I think you're not feeling that great, are you?
It's quite a bit of work. I mean, digging is a lot of work.
Yeah, and my eyes are still a little out of it. So let's talk about these because we're probably going to end it a little earlier today and then continue later on with the rest of it. But about planting hostas, when can you actually dig them up? When can you split them? When can you move them around in the garden? Anytime in the growing season, really. I know, the easiest time for plants to be divided or be transplanted, like we've been mentioning through the whole video, is in spring before they wake up.
Yeah.
Or when they first start to show their growth, their new growth, coming out in spring. We really went back and forth on what we were going to do with the hostas. Either we were going to leave them because we are moving to a hotter climate.
Yeah.
Or were we going to, how could we make it easier to take them with us and, when we put them in the moving truck because of all the foliage? We got to be, we need to really think about that they're going to get damaged. And I had thought at first, we did a lot of questions to a lot of people that love hostas, that been growing hostas for many years. A lot of people told us to go ahead and take them out and take them as bare root.
Yep.
But then I started to think about it. Other people started to tell us too, we need to get there and immediately plant them once we get there. And it's going to be a few days of travel.
Yes, it will. So.
And in the truck, the moving truck, temperatures are probably going to be very hot.
It'll get hot, especially September when we're...
Yeah. So we're, it's probably 2-3 days of travel.
Yeah.
So, we're still to see what happens with the plants. But, of course, we want to go ahead and take them. We want to go ahead and take them with us, right? We're not doing the whole bare root thing because very easily they could have just been placed in boxes, wrapped up in some kind of plastic.
Yep.
There's many ways of doing it in newspaper, whatever way, and just take them with us in a box. Saves a lot of space, right? But we're not going to do that. I think it's best for us to put them in a pot.
It's going to be way better to put them in a pot and just transplant them once we get there.
Yeah. That way they don't stress more than what they need to. Anyways, like Ambrose, what were you telling me? The end of the season is coming soon.
Yeah. I mean, they're gonna go dormant anyway. But they're gonna be fine. They're gonna be fine. We've read so many comments and talked to so many people about transplanting them. And they'll be fine.
They say they're one of the most which it is. We slowly they snuck up on us and they've become some of the most favorite plants in our garden. Here is where they just became we just love them. We fell in love with them, and they're very, very strong, hardy plants. They can handle it. All right, I guess we'll start to see if we can finish this area, however we're feeling right now.
Yeah, we might pick up in the morning, but this will be all one continuous video. So.
Yeah, we got to plant this for sure. We can't leave them like that right now.
Yep.